When I was 20, I had no idea my personality wasn't actually mine. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. And I don't mean it in some philosophical sense either. I mean it in a very literal and practical sense that I think most people can relate to if they're being honest with themselves. When you grow up in an environment that isn't stable, you don't just develop naturally, you adapt to it and you work out pretty quickly which version of you is safe and what version of you gets accepted. And you just become that. And when you practice that for so long, it eventually stops feeling like something you're doing and it just feels like who you are. I went through multiple careers between 18 and 26, and every single time I genuinely believed that I was making a free choice. But in hindsight, I wasn't actually chasing what I wanted. I was chasing whatever matched the identity I'd built around proving my worth. Because somewhere along the way, I picked up the belief that whatever I produced was what made me valuable, but that had nothing to do with who I actually was. It was just something that I picked up and never questioned. So when I say the things that I wish I'd known about identity at 20, the first is that the version of you that was formed around what was expected and what felt safe, that isn't your personality. And just because it feels natural, it doesn't mean it belongs to you. We adapt so well that eventually the adaptation starts to feel like the original. The second thing is that you don't figure out who you actually are by adding more to yourself. You figure out who you are by removing what was never yours to begin with. And it took me until I was 25 to actually understand that. But once I did, nothing about my life looked the same. The version of you that existed before you were told who to be, that's not who you used to be. It's who you still are, but you've just never given yourself the space to actually find out.